We continue to follow a developing story out of DeKalb County as we are waiting to see if a criminal grand jury will indict an officer who shot and killed an unarmed veteran. Joining us now is 11 Live legal analyst Phillip Holloway to weigh in and offer his insight. It's good to have you here.
Great to be here.
So this is, again, we are waiting and waiting to see what this grand jury will do. We know it went before a civil grand jury this past fall, no indictment. Is the evidence that's presented to the criminal grand jury presented in a different manner, or is there different evidence?
We don't know exactly what evidence the district attorney is going to present this time around. It could be the same. It could be slightly different. We really don't know. Grand jury proceedings are conducted in secret in Georgia. But one thing that's different when police officers are involved is they have a right to be present during the state's presentation of their evidence. So if Officer Hill was present back in the fall, he's got a pretty good idea, we would have to imagine, what the grand jury presentation this time around is going to look like. In addition, because police officers do have this right, they have the right also to make a sworn statement under oath to the grand jury in support of their own position, and they cannot be cross-examined about whatever they say to the grand jury.
And that is special to law enforcement.
In Georgia, it is peculiar to law enforcement, also school teachers and other public officials. That's correct.
And if you look at some statistics, recent statistics over the last 10 years, there have been 51 police-involved shootings, but only one. Why is that?
I think that speaks to a lot of things. You have to understand that most police shootings are, in fact, lawful and justified. And as a matter of course, district attorneys will present cases to grand juries just to cross the T's and dot the I's. So a lot of these cases, there's really no dispute about the legality of the shooting. I think the rest of it goes to the fact that the officers do get to be there and they do get to present their side of the case to a grand jury. And I suspect that if the average citizen had that same right, there would be a lot fewer indictments in general.
Key words there you use, lawful and justified. And that's what we're looking at in this case. A 27-year-old unarmed, naked Air Force veteran shot and killed by a lone police officer who was called to the scene. He had 7 years on the force. Officer Olsen. Was this lawful or unlawful?
I haven't seen any evidence, Melissa, that tells me that it was anything other than lawful. We don't know what the GBI investigation has revealed. That has not been released publicly, but I can tell you this. Police officers are trained that individuals who are naked and that are in public and who might have some type of mental disorder are among the most dangerous type of individuals that they can encounter. Every year or two in the United States, a police officer is killed by someone who is naked, and it's not really accurate to say that someone is unarmed, because people who don't have a traditional weapon like a knife or a gun, they still can pose a lethal threat, not only to police officers, but to anybody, quite frankly.
Playing devil's advocate, I think that's hard for some people to wrap their head around. Yeah. The community where he passed away in Chamblee is struggling with that. The people that are holding vigil outside the DeKalb County Courthouse don't understand how you could shoot an unarmed, naked individual, unarmed in the traditional sense.
That's right, and because Mr. Hill is very sympathetic. Everybody's heart breaks because you have a guy who apparently had some type of emotional problem, maybe a psychiatric disorder, bipolar, and he lost his life. And anytime that happens, it's a tragedy. It's not necessarily a crime, but everybody's heart breaks. And I suspect that if it could be done over again, there might be some things that could be done differently, perhaps sending more officers to the scene, things like that. But the law doesn't permit the courts to analyze these things with the 20/20 vision of hindsight. The courts say that we have to look at them from the perspective of the officer on the scene who has literally seconds to make a life or death decision.
Well, we appreciate your analysis. This is a story obviously we'll continue to follow, waiting for the grand jury's decision. Criminal grand jury weighing the evidence right now, and Duffy Dixon's at the courthouse tonight. Phillip Holloway, thank you.
Thank you.